The Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask is a rather peculiar title. Released only 2 years after Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask is its canonical sequel, but it is very distinct in so many regards that it hardly feels like a continuation of Ocarina of Time. Often considered the quote-unquote black sheep of the series, it stands in stark contrast to its predecessor, with its stronger emphasis on darker tones. Dread and despair is at the forefront in every corner of the land, but simultaneously, they are opposed by love and compassion to help restore peace. This juxtaposition of how it balances all of the emotions and feelings it conveys is what makes Majora's Mask stand out from every other Zelda entry. Paired that with the memorable soundtrack, well-written characters, and outstanding world-building, the game sticks out among the rest of the series to create an experience that is equal parts depressing and beautiful. This is why Majora's Mask is a melancholic masterpiece. Taking place 2 months after the events of Ocarina of Time, Link, after having beaten Ganondorf and returned to his childhood by Zelda, has been searching far and wide for Navi, who flew off after they were both transported back in time. As he and his trusty steed Epona are travelling through the dark woods, they are ambushed by the Skull Kid. Not wanting to play around with the masked assailant, Link tries to make an attempt to retrieve both Epona and the Ocarina of Time. While chasing him down, Link falls into a trap set by Skull Kid and is cursed, turning into a Deku Scroll. While Skull Kid makes his exit laughing, one of his fairies named Tattle takes the moment to harass Link, getting close off from both Skull Kid and her brother Tail. Feeling desperate, she and Link form a temporary truce, with Link reluctantly agreeing. The pair find themselves inside the clock tower, and right as they're about to exit, they're stopped by a quite curious fellow. The backpacker introduces himself as the Happy Mask Salesman. He explains that a mask of his was stolen by Skull Kid and that he is aware of Link's predicament, offering a deal. He can restore Link's true form if he can retrieve the Ocarina. In return, all the salesman wants is his mask back. The catch is that he must leave the land in 3 days. With their goals set, Link and Tattle exit outside and find themselves standing in the middle of Clock Town, located in Termina. The duo take the time to explore the town and find a way to reach Skull Kid, meeting with the Great Fairy as well as joining up with a small gang known as the Bombers. The gang lets Link in on a secret passageway leading to the Comet Observatory, and when he uses the telescope, he spots Skull Kid waiting on top of the clock tower. As he looks up a little bit more, a large moon is slowly but surely coming closer with each passing day. With Skull Kid's location known, all that's left is to go confront him. The issue is that the only passage is through an entrance that opens on the eve of an event known as the Carnival of Time, and that will take until the night of the 3rd day. As the pair explore more of the town, they can listen in on some conversations and talk with some of the townsfolk, who all have their own thoughts and theories on why the moon is slowly falling. Some of them even make plans to escape Clock Town in the worst case scenario. On the third day, Link and Tattle make their way up to the top of the clock tower and find Skull Kid and Tail waiting for them. Tattle tries to plead with Skull Kid to give back the mask, but he isn't listening. Tail then says the following: "Swamp, mountain, ocean, canyon. Hurry, the four who are there, bring them here." Skull Kid scolds him and, feeling as though he's already won, taunts the pair, and the moon starts falling faster. Link recovers the sacred instrument and recalls a conversation he had with Princess Zelda before he started his quest for Navi. He remembers the Song of Time and takes Zelda's final words to heart. "The Goddess of Time is protecting you. If you play the Song of Time, she will aid you." Pulling out a pair of Deku pipes, Link plays the Song of Time and tests to see if Zelda's words were true. Suddenly, Link and Tattle find themselves outside the clock tower, with the town okay and the moon farther back, almost as if everything had started over. Recognizing that Link successfully retrieved the ocarina, they head back inside the clock tower and chat with the happy mask salesman. With the ocarina back in his possession, the kind salesman holds up his end of the bargain and teaches Link a melody to return to his original body, the Song of Healing. After waving his nightmares away, Link is given the Deku mask in commemoration. Having fulfilled his end of their agreement, the salesman asks for the mask that Skull Kid had stolen. Upon hearing that Link was unable to take back the mask, the straight-faced mask dealer has a rather reasonable response to this news. He explains that the mask is called Majora's Mask, a mask that was said to be used in an ancient tribe's hexing rituals, and bestows an evil and wicked power upon the wearer. Fearing potential misuse, the Ancient Ones sealed the mask away in shadow, but as they faded away into history, the true power of the mask had been forgotten. With the knowledge of Majora's Mask and Link's body back to normal, Link and Tattle set off to visit the 4 locations mentioned by Tail to find a way to stop Skull Kid from crashing the moon into Termina in 3 days. The opening to this game is outstanding, and lets the player know that things aren't the same as they were during Ocarina of Time. Having the story follow Link's personal quest is a great choice, as he's already fulfilled his destiny in the previous game. Here, he has gone beyond Hyrule to search for his best friend. When we first see Link, he's tired, delirious, and struggling to stay motivated to keep looking for Navi. When he's ambushed by Skull Kid, he's at his wit's end and not in the mood for shenanigans, showing just how much he has changed in terms of personality after the events in Ocarina of Time. He's much more expressive now, and his characterization is better for it with his many interactions, be it as a Hylian or while in a transformation mask. Tattle is a big step up from Navi in many regards. Where Navi was an upbeat character that was chosen by a guardian tree, Tattle is this obnoxious brat who loves to play pranks on others and is very out of her element. Once she's separated from Skull Kid and Tail, her personality changes to someone scared for not only her own safety, but also her brother's. Despite this, she always maintains a level of snarkiness, and the dynamic between her and Link is very entertaining, between the taunting fairy and the seasoned pro. The happy mask salesman creates a sense of unease with his sporadic movements, his, mostly, straight-faced expressions, and his giant bag adorned with masks. It never seems as though he's telling the full story about his intentions, and he keeps the details to as little as possible. The uncertainty that surrounds the salesman is what makes him such an intriguing character to watch, and is always a delight to see whenever he is featured on screen. Majora's Mask builds off the groundwork its predecessor laid out to make a 3D Zelda game. As such, there is a lot of, if it's not broke, don't fix it. A lot of concepts introduced previously such as Z targeting and horse riding return and function the exact same, along with aiming in first person with items such as the hookshot and the bow. Reusing the same engine and a large number of assets from Ocarina of Time helped to cut down on time that would have been used to create new systems, meaning they had more time to experiment with new ideas and mechanics. The biggest is without a doubt the time limit. As explained previously, Link and Tattle are tasked with stopping Skull Kid and the Moon within a 72-hour time limit. During this time, many key events may occur all over Termina, from an elderly lady getting robbed, aliens coming down to abduct some cows, and giving a floating hand some toilet paper.
Yay!
Managing Link's time is important for navigating through certain quests and getting unique rewards. However, for many players that feel anxious about the time limit, there are 3 ways for Link to make sure he carries about his schedule properly. After joining the Bombers, they give him the Bomber's Notebook, a notebook that automatically writes down key characters and events whenever they occur. The Song of Time acts as both a way to save the game and go back to the start of the 3-day cycle, but by playing the song in different ways, it will have different effects. Playing the notes backwards gives the inverted Song of Time, making time progress twice as slowly. Repeating the first 3 notes twice results in the Song of Double Time, which sends Link fast forwarding in time until the next milestone. Along his journey, Link will acquire special masks that change his physical appearance and make him into a member of another race. The Deku mask transforms Link into a Deku Scrub, with the ability to hop along the water, blow bubbles, and sprout from flowers, letting him fly through the air. The Goron mask turns Link into a heavy Goron, allowing him to roll around at max speed, perform ground pounds, and deal some heavy damage. The Zora mask lets Link swim freely through the water at high acceleration, along with some boomerang fins and an electric shield for protection. Each of the masks change Link in some way, shape, or form, and knowing when to balance between Link's base form and his transformations is important. The transformation masks aren't the only kind that Link can equip, however, as there are many different types that he can obtain, ranging from getting entry into a milk bar, bombing everything in a 2-foot radius, or keeping him up long enough to sit through a grandmother's story. Some masks such as the Bunny Hood are amazing as they let Link speed around without the need of consuming magic. The Stone mask makes Link invisible to the untrained eye, and the Kimura's mask will make Link do this dance. What the fuck? Masks are usually obtained from completing side quests. Most of them don't take up too much time, but some give a lot of insight on the characters across Termina and how they're all reacting with the threat of the falling moon. The younger characters such as Romani aren't too fussed about the moon, choosing to focus on their own little worlds. In stark contrast, her older sister Cremia is worried about caring both for her ranch and the people in her life that she cares about. When Link assists her in delivering a package of milk from the ranch, she's grateful for Link's help and shows her gratitude either with a mask, some rupees, or a very big hug. The side quests give a lot of insight into the lives of the residents of Termina, and even though they might be facing certain doom, Link helps to give them a little reprieve. The best case of this is a quest involving 2 characters named Anju and Cafe. Anju and Cafe are engaged to get married on the day of the Carnival of Time. Cafe was cursed to be stuck in a child's body by Skull Kid, and had his marriage mask stolen by a thief. Since that time, Cafe has gone missing. Andrew is worried sick about her fiancé and is at constant odds with her mother about staying and waiting for Cafe's return. When Link aids the yearning lovers, he helps Andrew convince her mother to let her stay and wait for her beloved, while assisting Cafe in retrieving the mask back. After successfully infiltrating the thief's hideout, Cafe gets his mask back and runs back to Clocktown to meet with Andrew. During the last few minutes before the moon falls, Cafe arrives and the two have a touching reunion where they lovingly embrace. Being content with knowing they can both die happy in each other's arms, the two await their impending doom in holy matrimony. This side quest is a perfect example of how Majora's Mask balances the sense of dread with the beautiful, with these two lovers being content in death, knowing that they have each other. The world of Termina is one that is wrought with fear and confusion throughout every corner of the land. From the mountainous region of Snowhead, which has been stuck in a never-ending winter, to the Great Bay Coast, a large shore that has been experiencing murky waters and higher than average temperatures. Each of the 5 key areas all experience some sort of turmoil from the curses that Skull Kid has placed on each corner of the land. Throughout his travels, Link does what he can to assist those in need in whatever ways he can, be it helping a man see his Kukos all grown up, or allowing an old captain to finally rest in peace. Each of the 5 key areas in Termina can be thought of as an analogy for the Kubler-Ross model of the 5 stages of grief. Clocktown represents denial. Many of the carpenters and residents are in constant denial about the moon falling, refusing to cancel the Carnival of Time. The Southern Swamp represents anger. With the Deku Princess missing, the king is furious and decides to hold an innocent monkey accountable. Snowhead represents bargaining. With the eternal winter brought on by Skull Kid, the humble Gorons are desperate for someone or something to save them from their terrible blizzards. Great Bay represents depression. The lead singer of Azora Band has lost her voice and had her egg stolen by a group of thieving pirates. Ikana Valley represents acceptance. The once prosperous kingdom of Ikana has become a shell of its former self, with its king finally coming to accept what brought about the downfall of the kingdom. Speaking further on the land of Ikana, it is also home to one of the strongest dungeons in the series, known as Stone Tower Temple. Stone Tower was built as an impenetrable stronghold, and only with the assistance of the King of Ikana is Link able to scale the structure and enter the temple at the very top. This is where Link gets the most use out of the 3 transformation masks, frequently swapping between them for flying in the air, rolling through lava, and swimming past traps. After a mini-boss encounter, Link is given the light arrows and a hint. Shooting a sacred golden light into the red emblem on the outside of the temple rearranges things, so that the earth is born in the heavens and the moon is born on the earth. When Link exits and shoots the red emblem outside, the stone tower is seemingly flipped upside down. Going back into the temple, what was up is now down and vice versa, creating multiple new puzzles to solve and challenges for Link to overcome. This is an incredible concept for a dungeon, and makes what was already a good dungeon an amazing one, with Stone Tower being commonly considered one of the strongest dungeons in the series. Despite not much being known about Stone Tower outside of it being an impenetrable stronghold, a common theory is that it is an allusion to the Tower of Babel. To summarize the original tale, a group of people that all spoke the same language built a tower to reach the sky. God disrupted the creation of the tower by confusing the languages of the workers so that they couldn't communicate and finish the tower. The creators of Stone Tower sought to reach the goddesses and thus built the monument. The goddesses viewed this as an act of insolence and shot a ray of light into the tower. The workers continued to build what they thought was higher, but in actuality was lower, leading them into a pit of their own sins. The soundtrack is filled with so many amazing tracks, such as Stone Tower's theme, with an ominous choir as the backing track, and when the temple gets inverted, so does the music. The game's soundtrack has a lot of creative concepts such as this, even in the central clock town. On the first day, the theme is fairly upbeat and cheerful as the people are going about their everyday lives. On the second day, its pace is much faster while still remaining upbeat, but with just a sense of unease. The third day, however, the pacing is even faster, almost as if it's trying to hurry along, and there's the background track looming behind all of the instruments. It's a subtle way of the game saying, time is running out, better get a move on before that moon falls. It would be remiss to not mention what is undoubtedly the most iconic track from the game, the Song of Healing. The Happy Mask Salesman describes this song as a melody that heals evil magic and troubled spirits. Link does exactly that with this song, using it to heal people of their worries and troubles all across Termina. From a once proud warrior trying to look out for his people, to a father stricken with a mummifying curse. Though, despite the name Song of Healing, the somber backing track represents what it feels like to be at our lowest. It is contrasted beautifully with the peaceful piano, playing keys that aren't necessarily happy. They understand whatever trauma or grief the listener might be going through, and help them start the process of healing. It helps the hero put their mind or soul at ease, relieving them of their troubles and allowing them to move on. These solemn notes create what many would consider is the defining song for Majora's Mask. Majora's Mask is many things. It's depressing, yet upbeat. Sorrowful, but compassionate. Above all else though, it is a story about loss and acceptance. The dichotomy of all these feelings that it invokes is balanced beautifully between the amazing music, the terrifically written characters, and the masterfully crafted world of Termina. It did a splendid job using the formula that was established for a 3D game with Ocarina of Time. But it took it in so many creative directions, with the 3-day time limit and the transformation masks, to help set itself apart from every game prior. All of these elements come together to create a Zelda game like no other, resulting in a game that can only be described as a melancholic masterpiece. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed and want more videos like this, clicking the like and subscribe buttons is a great way of showing support. A few quick shoutouts before this video ends though. Thank you to Juice for helping me with the script writing. He streams and makes content here on YouTube under the channel The Juice Box, where he has a predominant focus on Final Fantasy and Sonic the Hedgehog. Thank you to Saving Termina, or SC, for being the man that got me to play Majora's Mask after so many years, and showed me just how fantastic this game truly is. Finally, big thank you to everyone that watched, liked, and subscribed after the Ocarina of Time video. That video has reached over 1,300 views and is absolutely crazy to me. it means so much to see something that I put a lot of time and effort into getting that far. The next video in the series will be covering The Wind Waker, but I want to take a step away from doing Zelda content for a video, as I did get pretty burnt out during the production of this project. Rest assured though, the Wind Waker video will be out before Tears of the Kingdom releases. After that, I will be taking 3 to 4 weeks off to fully enjoy Tears of the Kingdom when that's out, then back to making videos. If you want to keep up to date with me, you can follow me on my Twitter and Twitch at the handle on screen. But until next time, take care.